don't take the pictures for the embassy. It's not allowed. You can take mine.
Please say again. You're live in the world, eh?
Yeah, you're not allowed to take the pictures of the embassy. It's not allowed.
Which embassy is this?
US embassy.
The US Embassy. Good morning. We are not allowed to take pictures of the US Embassy. Good morning. I haven't been on Periscope for quite a while, and so I'm not allowed to take pictures or even broadcast with the US Embassy in the background. Sorry sir, I'm broadcasting, okay. So being intimidated here by the security guards, probably because we're white, but anyway, doesn't matter. There's a air of festivity here, which is quite nice. The number turnout is very, very, very poor, but I think it's in the end the thought and the solidarity with the people, our farmers. The farmer tax are continuing unabated, although the murder rates are down, and that is only because of a vigilance and a continued awareness between farmers and support. They are more organized than before. There are groups like Solidarity and AfriForum who have started formalizing the protection of farms. I will be coming back on Periscope as soon as we've got a little bit more action. At the moment, what has happened is that we have two representatives who have gone into the embassy. We'll find out what was said and whether anything handed over to them. But the turnout here is very poor. Yes, it is quite interesting because some of the people here have come in outfits mocking the Sangoma, which is playing a big role in the onslaught against farmers. Black people are extremely superstitious, and we have also their flag, the ANC Clown Circus, which is going to no doubt evoke elicit some response. Of course, there is the braai that is the customary braai that is taking place, and the organizers of today's Black Monday are here. Guys, Eddie, just introduce yourself to the world.
Okay, I'm Edward Richardson and Deputy Chairman of Black Monday. We're out here again after that we've been here several times before handing over memorandums, and we haven't received any reaction. Nothing in written was given back to us. So we have now asked them several times to at least give us a report back. We've done that now, and they have promised that if we come down and we give them a special date, that they will see us according to the appointment, and that's what we want. We want some reaction out of the American Embassy. They are going to give this to us eventually after so many times that we've been here. And it's not just because of a small group that's here, it's all because we're making a point. The whole idea is that we are sick and tired of the farm murders that have been taking place, the high crime rate, and the ANC that are completely incompetent in ruling the country the way it should be. We've never had such high unemployment rate ever in the whole history. We're sick and tired of people taking bribes, and they're just doing whatever they like. So we are going on with this, and we're also trying our level best to bring this to the international community, so that the international community can also see that we are trying something. And the best is for us to stand up and say, listen, enough is enough, man. We want this country to go forward.
Eddie, I see that many English-speaking South Africans are joining ranks with the Afrikaners. I think that they're becoming more and more aware. Any comment on that?
The ideal thing is that we are moving into a direction where not only English-speaking white and black, there are so many farmers that have been attacked, not only black farmers and white farmers, but many other farmers. We are getting a reaction because there is a universal understanding in our country that we are all getting sick and tired of the damn high crime rate that's going on. We are making a stand. We are tired of this. We have asked the government to intervene on several times and just sweet nothing has happened. We're not getting reaction out of them. And this is why we have to have an ultimatum to go to the international community and say, guys, we need you to intervene.
Right, Eddie, tell me about the clown and the Sangoma here.
Okay. The clown is there because the ANC are really going overboard. We're making a clown because it's a bloody circus that the ANC has got. Quite frankly, the majority of the things that they touch turns to crap.
South Africa is run by a bunch of clowns.
Pika?
It's a circus. South Africa is run by clowns.
The way in which we understand at the moment is that there's so much corruption, and they cannot get rid of it because they're part of the corruptors.
Yes.
And the Sangoma, the meaning of the Sangoma here?
The Sangoma is actually also like a tokolos. This is actually representing the face of all the crap that we have to sit up with, and people are getting away with it. We are just saying the snakes on the head is the different means and corruption that takes place on it. And we are showing this is actually the true face of what's going on. We need to get people to realize how serious this is. If South Africans, black and white, need to stand together and resolve the issues, we need to do this urgently. Get somebody in power to vote out the ANC and get somebody that wants to rule the country properly. We want to move forward economically. We are sick and tired of taking the back seat and people taking our funds. Money is not reaching the people that need to get involved. The people that are in dire straits to get funds are not getting the money. They're not reaching the funds. So we need people to get the funds needed to do the things necessary. Our municipalities are going down the tubes in average. We need the municipalities to take note that if people want to strive, go forward, we are all paying taxes. Where is the money going to? Why is the corruption so high? Why are there people buying things that aren't even necessary? Why can't we just resolve our matters and invest our money into our country? We cannot expect other people from outside to invest money in our country if this is the way things are going.
Valerie, thank you, Eddie. Valerie, you're the chair, and you've been interviewed quite a lot internationally by sympathetic people. Can you just tell us your exposure and your profile that's been out there on social media?
Hi, yes, I'm Valerie. I'm the national chairperson of the Black Monday Movement South Africa. I am the calling of South Africa. I am the voices for all the farmers in South Africa, the ones who do not dare speaking for themselves because of the color of their skin. You know, the goal of today's event is to place the national focus of attention on the corruption on the side of government, and to bring these thugs to accountability for what really is going on in South Africa. You know, we are sitting with a bunch of clowns. South Africa, basically, it's run by, it's a circus, okay? You cannot take people or a bunch of grade 1 people and you can promote them.
Uneducated people
Yeah.
and run the
you,
country.
And you can promote them to grade 12 and now just put them into a parliamentary position and ask them to run a country. It does not work that way. You cannot take criminals from the street and put them in parliament. You cannot take murderers and put them into power in parliament. It does not work that way. I strongly believe that the IEC is indeed captured by the ANC. I challenge the ANC on record today to show otherwise.
On that score, I'm just going to revert. On that score of the IEC being captured by the ANC, I am cousins with Renee Newpen, and she's married to Charles Newpen. They are communists. Renee is the chair very often at the ANC conferences. She started the IEC, and Charles started the Mediation Association of South Africa. They've both become extremely wealthy through that franchise, and I can guarantee you, as sure as I stand here, I am the evidence that the IEC has been captured by the ANC, and they will do only what the ANC instructs. That is a fact.
Story in South Africa, for them it is about receiving the monies from political parties to partake in upcoming elections. They don't care about whether a person is qualified actually to go and sit in parliament to run the country. They are just concerned receiving each and every participant of each and every party's money to benefit themselves.
We have seen Zuma in parliament not able to pronounce monetary terms, trillions and billions, etc. And then he laughs at himself and thinks it's an absolute joke. Those sessions are often attended by ambassadors.
Yes.
What
correct,
must these
yes.
people think about us?
You know what?
We look like fools to the international community.
In South Africa, the only thing it takes is by having a bandit record coming from prison. You have to go to prison to be enabled to become president of this country.
Is it true then that this country is run by criminals?
Yes.
The parliament
definitely.
has a lot of criminals in them. The fact that the BLF has now been given permission to partake in the voting is a shame that so many racist people as the BLF can take part of
The biggest
the elections.
The biggest racist there in South Africa is Parliament themselves. It is a bunch of clowns that is running the Parliament. Those people are the biggest racists in this country, because racism, it's actually incited by people of government, by political parties, murdering our farmers. It's incited by political parties. It's incited by political leaders like Julius Malema and Blackland First. Julius Malema must know, he said that our white males, they need to know their place. I want to say to Julius Malema, you should know your place.
Malema, after the first Black Monday, which was a massive turnout, he threatened the Afrikaners with violence. I also believe that there was a far-right gentleman here who actually was very upset. What is that all about?
Malema, you said that our white boys should know our place and that you will come for our white boys. Malema, I say to you, our white boys, we will be ready.
Thank you for that, Valerie. To explain to our international viewers what the significance of the Sangoma is in this country.
The Sangoma represents the only ancestors. It is a perfect replica of the ancestors. They cannot stand on a stage and they cannot mock our living God. We are Christians. We don't believe in ancestors.
There is a spiritual warfare in the country at the moment.
Yes,
Many
there
of the
are.
Christians are saying there is a spirit of genocide that's being unleashed. We have seen on the Clifton debacle the slaughter, which is against the law, in public, of a sheep, and the blood sprinkled over the beach, etc., and the warlord of the ancestors being called upon to fight the whites.
Yes, that is true. Malema also said on a platform that that Jesus already arrived in the form of the EFF 5 years ago. I want to say to Malema, we are serving a righteousness and the almighty living God. What you see here, the Tokolosi, represent your ancestors, not my ancestors, because we are praying to our almighty living God. Thank you.
I believe that our leaders consult Sangomas before elections.
Yes, I do.
Also, the farm attackers,
Yes,
they also consult Sangomas.
yes,
And also, when they go and protest, they consult Sangomas as well to protect them against bullets, which the Sangoma turns them invincible
yes,
against.
They do. It is totally out of this world. It is totally unacceptable because in our country we sit with many of people of multi-races and multi-beliefs, and what you see here actually today does not represent who we are. We are Boers. We are farmers of South Africa. We are God-fearing people. We are Christians, and that what of South Africa is not our beliefs at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Valerie.
Can I represent Colonel Frans from Dexter, please?
Goeiemorgen, Colonel. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning.
Very welcome. What is your opinion about the Black Monday, and why have you decided to attend and show your face here?
I think it's quite important to attend to such a meeting because since 1994, you know when the world began. You know the world began in 1994 because nothing happened before 1994. And there has been more than 2,000 farmers murdered on their farms. And apart from that, more than 60 people are killed per day in South Africa. That's more than 600,000 people that's been killed since 1994.
Under the custody of the ANC government.
That's correct. That's correct, yeah.
Where is all this leading to, sir? This cannot carry on indefinitely.
We think it's leading to a civil war at the end, yeah.
Many organizations are preparing. We know that there are moderates, and hopefully, the moderates will prevail. But there are also radical people. And I believe that the post-94 government has polarized the people, specifically after Mandela, into black and white. They do not control violence in the country. There's a lot of anti-white rhetoric at the moment on social media in which those people do not get punished at all.
For their crimes.
They do not get punished for their crimes.
Yes.
So, and this is one of the reasons, probably the main reason, obviously corruption as well, that is turning the white population against the black population. So I believe that the post-94 government is responsible for what may be in store for us. Do you agree with that?
And after that, the ANC is responsible for the polarization. Because they are drifting, black and white people are drifting apart even more since 1994.
Yes.
That was supposed to be, 1994 was supposed to be the Rainbow Nation. That was supposed to bring the people together. It didn't happen. They were more polarized since 1994. And then the corruption starts and the murder starts and theft. And everything you can think of that's bad in this country, the ANC can stand for.
I do not know where this is going to end. It looks as if there is a possibility that we are seeing black on black violence. There have been political murders already that has been killed, that was killed over the weekend. So that's the way in which the politicians are, the ANC politicians and the EFF, that's the way in which they solve their problems, political problems. Of course, we are heading into the last week before the elections, and we can expect the envelopes to come out this time. There's been massive cash in transit robberies last year, less so this year, and we believe that those cash in transit robberies go out to fund the ANC Parliament and the ANC people to buy votes, specifically in their regions. Do you agree with that?
That's possible because they've got no moral values. But the way we prepare, we are forming commandos. We call our defense units commandos, and we are forming commandos all over South Africa to defend our people in a civil war. If there's a civil war, we can defend ourselves. Commandos are basically civil people that organize themselves in military units.
So this is basically a defense unit and not an attack unit.
That's right. Not in Europe, a commando with a C is basically an attack unit, a special force unit. In South Africa, it's a defense unit.
There has been commandos employed post-apartheid, the farmer commandos, and Terror Lakota, who's I see as a poster up here, is also defaced. Terror Lakota actually abolished.
Dismantled the commandos. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why we can't defend our farmers.
That's true. 100% true. Yeah, that's why we're forming commandos again.
Excellent. And the commandos are being coordinated
by the people in the different areas, in the communities.
In the communities, they are standing up to do something about it because the government does not do anything about it.
Colonel, these commandos, we've seen the gun laws, tightening up of gun laws, the delays in applications for gun laws, etc., etc. We are basically armed with pistols and maybe hunting rifles against automatic machine guns and R5s, the South African version of the AK-47, which is in fact gotten from magazines, from these arms stores, etc., from the police, from the army. What is your comment on that?
This war that we are in now is a war that you fight 3 meters from you. It's not the old bush war or a guerrilla war where you fight 100 meters or 200 meters. So if you can handle your 9mm or your revolver, you can handle it better than a guy that's not trained enough to handle a AK-47 or an R4 rifle or so.
For protection.
So,
for protection.
I will take on anybody, anyone with my 9mm if he's not trained well and he's got an AK-47.
Let's hope it doesn't come to mass mobilization of people. We have seen over the last year, these people are traditionally well mobilized. They're able to, on a very short notice, like we've seen at Clifton Beach, the whole world watched over Christmas last year, how easy it is to bus in thousands of EFF supporters and BLF supporters to create havoc in certain areas. So I hope it doesn't come to a mass invasion of areas, which may be expected because of the utterances of Cyril Ramaphosa regarding the EWC, which is just another word of stealing land.
So do I. It's not a war is not a nice thing. But we are a peace-loving people. The Boer people are peace-loving people. We don't seek war. We don't seek confrontation with other people. But they are seeking confrontation with us.
I agree with that. I think that 94, 92, those years, it was a watershed because the country was teetering on a knife's edge. there was a referendum, and in my opinion, a very dubious one, just managing to scrape through the 2/3 majority, which I have had a question mark over for a long, long time. And you had the military like Constant Viljoen, people in military intelligence who knew their enemy, you knew what was going on. And in fact, the Freedom Front, the Vryheidsfront, was founded by Constant Viljoen. There was also a clause 235 brought into the Constitution to assist the minority groups, specifically the Afrikaner, because they have got their own culture, their own traditions, etc., as a folk, as a nation, to be able to declare independence in certain area, but nothing happened.
You see, that is the important thing that you say now, that this country is bigger than France, Germany and Italy together. It's a large country. So we can divide this country actually in 10 different provinces or so. But we as the Boer people, we are a separate people. We think that we can have our own country, our own land, and have our own republic or so.
Peace.
Colonel, thank you very, very much for your effort and time. This broadcast is live to the world via Periscope. So hopefully let's hope that we get the coverage, even though the attendance here is not that great. But it doesn't matter, because there are plenty of people in spirit with us. But this is also a lesson for us. The Afrikaner people do not seek confrontation. So they do not, it's not their tradition to attend rallies, to be violent, to loot, to set alight, to block the roads, etc. We do not do that. And in a sense, that is our grace, and that it will be our salvation as well, because we will do this in a morally correct way, in a peaceful way, and we will do it by getting the support of the world out there. Not the liberals, certainly the like-minded people who stand for their nations, patriots.
The whole world is turning to nationalism in any case.
Yeah, for a very good reason. For a very good reason. Thank you very much, Colonel.
Are you from this country?
Yes, I am. I'm an Afrikaner activist. I am from this country, and I choose not to become involved.
You know your history, that's for sure.
Thank you very much. I choose not to belong to any group, to be non-aligned, because there is so much infighting between people, and maybe I can assist in gluing some of these people together, because there is a lot of glue, there's a lot of synergy between people. It's just our genes that I believe, we come from a diverse background, and maybe that's the cause of our...
I'm into genetics, and I know that, because we stem from the Dutch, the Germans, the French, even the English, Russians. So that's why there's so much division between.
There's a lot of division, but it's our genes. That's our genes.
Yeah.
But let's say that there's a common enemy now. The ANC and the EFF, the black parties, are extremely clever, because what they have done is they have identified one enemy, and that enemy is easy to identify. It is the white person. It's the white person.
It's always the white spot.
The Zulus, Shaka Zulu, killed over 2 million blacks before the white governments came in and actually restored peace. So, they are killing, the politicians are killing each other. And that is part of their tradition, the way. Even corruption, I believe, is part of a culture. You get it all over Africa. All over Africa. So why are these people different? Okay, guys, so from the US Embassy, I am going to... Thank you very much, Colonel. I will give you my details. I like presentation, etc. And so, if you want to contact me, you're free to do so. And thank you very, very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. There are few of us here, maar ek weet ons staan saam. Baie dankie, hoor. All right, guys, that's that I think will be the end of my broadcast here. As you can see, we do not have a huge turnout, but there is an awareness. You can see that at some of the political parties, there's a coffin representing the hell that our people are going through. There is our beloved Ramaphosa. We all believed in him. He was going to be the savior of our economy. In 2 weeks flat, he caused more harm in this country than Zuma did through his EWC utterances and policies. He's not in control of this country. I would say that the radical part of the ANC is in control of the country with the support of their disciple, their prince, Julius Malema. And Julius Malema has been courted and is being courted by the ANC to rejoin them. So guys, thank you very, very much. And from the US Embassy, I am signing off, and hopefully our future gatherings we can mobilize more people. God bless.